crap this is. Destroy it, I must.
Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 30-year veteran in the comic book industry. I just read Yoda, #1. Marvel Comics is just cranking out. Ever since Marvel got the Star Wars license back, they are cranking out this just unsellable crap. I mean, I don't know. This particular book, is there any reason why Yoda should have his own series ever? I mean, just ever? He's not particularly, he's not the kind of protagonist that most people want to read about. He's more like he should be there guiding the real protagonist, you know? Reading a solo Yoda story, I didn't know what that experience was going to be like, but now I do. Yoda #1. First of all, I just want to say, I looked up Cavan Scott, the writer, just to find out who this dude was. He seems to be a genuine Star Wars fan. Not so much a Marvel writer. I'd never heard of him. I didn't know what he did. For all I know, he's Marvel's next big thing. But no, he was sitting there like praising the new Ahsoka series on Disney Plus. He was just thoroughly moved by it. So I mean, like, you know, typical, you know. But he is a big Star Wars fan. This book here, the artist, Nico Leon, is the guy I guess I would take issue with, because his work is pretty lazy. It's stylized in a way to be done very, very quickly. But don't kid a kidder. Like, I used to work on Green Lantern. I know what this is here. This is a third of a page where you've drawn one single line up here, and then you've told the inker to do black with stars here, and then the colorist to color this as a planet. Listen, I've done this to Kyle Ritter. When I have to do this, I feel bad. I don't draw planets like, realistically anymore, because I just feel like I'm not doing my fair share of work. I'll draw asteroids and other planets and suns and things in the background, just because this is something that I would feel guilty about accepting a page rate for. Here's our scene of Dagobah, and we have 3 wasted pages right at the outset. Dagobah, Yoda. Okay, and then we go, oh, this is going to be a 2-page spread. We're going to get to look at Yoda. This is going to be very exciting. I can't wait to see Marvel Comics version of Yoda. And then we open it up, and it's underwhelming. Master Yoda, do you hear me? Says a voiceover. And we're supposed to be looking at, this should be like a really awesome drawing here. And it just isn't. My wife used to come downstairs and watch me draw when I worked for DC. And whenever I would have the Faber-Castell big pit pen, the brush here out, she would say, what do you got, deadline issues? So today you've chosen not to be great. Today you're just, you're going to black out everything and hide everything in shadow just to get pages done. And I'd have to hang my head and say, yeah, you're quite right. That is the idea here, because it does work. But here's the reality of things. The reality, if one were to do accounting here, you would have to admit that like 1/3 of the page here, 1/3, more than 1/3 of the page is just somebody scribbling black. This could be anything. This could be like a table with like ancient scrolls on it. It could be the meal that he just ate. It could be absolutely anything. It could be his bed. It could be something to look at. Instead, you've hidden it all in shadow, and it's not as though, let's get real here. It's not as though you're not just tracing pictures, photographs of the Yoda puppet, because that's what you're doing. This is not like you drew Yoda. You don't know how to draw Yoda. You're just tracing photos. I was talking to John Malin about this on the Jack Show this morning. I don't want to get too angry here, but I was just like, because I just read this book, and I was like, if your job was to draw Yoda, I mean, God help you, Marvel calls you, they offer you your page rate to draw Yoda. First thing that you're going to do, right, is you're going to learn to draw Yoda out of your head. You're going to sit there and look at all the images of Yoda. You're going to learn the shapes that make up Yoda. You're going to learn, the eye placement, face, how his skull works. You're going to learn how to draw Yoda, as many facial expressions as you can devise, so that you can just go to town and tell stories with your imaginary Yoda puppet, the one that you manipulate with your mind and your pen on paper, not just tracing photographs of the actual Yoda puppet. I mean, it's dead on the page, and I'm fully aware as I look at it that I've seen this before. I've seen it before. I've seen it in the movies. It feels like you just paused the movie and printed it out or something and then just lightboxed it. And maybe you didn't, but that's the effect that it has on me. This is boring. Yoda sitting there being spoken to with some disrespect from a former student. We don't really know who it is yet. Over here, the rest of the story is a mostly harmless. Yoda saves the day from a bunch of pirates who are invading. Look at do some fucking work, dude. What is this? What is this? I'm not paying you for that. This is fine. You did a good job here. You've got this nice race of native aliens, and they're about to get bullied. And by the way, I don't know if I should take offense to this. Like, is this just my ego? Is this just my narcissism? This is my character's name, Trick Ron Cyberfrog. It's an unusual name. It's not one that I've seen anywhere else before. And here it is used as a character that we don't get to see, a member of this race of losers, perpetual victims here. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I should take that personally. Maybe the writer, Cavan Scott, is more aware of me than I am of him. I mean, I would have to think so. But I don't know. Again, that just could be like, could just be a coincidence for all I know. Dr. Aphra, this fake ass, this bootleg, fake, generic character created by somebody who doesn't care for a Star Wars RPG. I bought all of these books that I could find. I want to read Dr. Aphra. This character was created because a lot of people think that there is a huge female audience for Star Wars, and they need another bland cipher of a character that they can they're like, oh, well, we want to be in Star Wars. That's how women think, of course. Like, women couldn't relate to Yoda, in any way. They go, that's not me. That's not my experience. So they want to project themselves onto just an awesome, blank, boring character, a brunette as usual. For some reason, that's a Star Wars staple. And Dr. Aphra was created to do that. I mean, Dr. Aphra represents like Belle from Twilight or Harry Potter or any of these characters that really have no personality or uniqueness of their own, but are at the center of their own story, and everything revolves around them and how great they are. And they're clearly not that great, but again, that's the way women want to read. So is this successful? I don't know. I saw an awful lot of comic books featuring this fake character. By the way, here's somebody who learned how to draw Yoda. I mean, not very well. It's kind of stiff, but if you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, like that's somebody who actually learned how to draw Yoda and isn't just tracing pictures. Here's Phil Noto, who is, I used to know him. Like, he's a really, really good artist, good painter, and he's somebody who seems to be doing, if you see a good Star Wars comic book cover, it's Phil Noto. Anyway, what is his story? Here come the pirates here. These guys are bullies. They're mean. Well, I mean, they're conquerors, and they see this land, and they're going to take this land. It's nothing personal. This is just, survival of the fittest. This is the way evolution works. This species is not fit enough to protect their own land by themselves, so they pray to the stars, and they're overheard on the Jedi Temple at Coruscant. This is the High Council, Jedi High Council. Remember the High Council? It's a good show. And they're like, oh, who's going to save these people? How about none of us? No, Yoda. And by the way, here we go again. I don't even think this is from a movie. I honestly think the artist this time just took a picture of a Yoda toy. I mean, that's what this looks like a Yoda model, a toy that was sitting on his desk. Does this not look like a toy on a desk? And then traced it and put it in the... Just learn how to draw Yoda, man. My friend, just take a little while and learn how to draw him. It's your job. Anyway, Yoda goes down, and because Yoda's the protagonist, that means that we have to watch Yoda fight, which was funny in the prequel trilogy, but I don't know if I want to look at a comic book of this. Yoda has decided he's going to push back the pirates, which is precisely what he does, and then he decides he's going to squat on this land and act as its protector. Perfectly serviceable, fine, bland story that isn't going to hurt anyone. By the way, look at Yoda get manga here. Yeah, look at his little manga smile. Look at this. See, that's how you know. It's like the artist suddenly went, you know, I'm getting manga here. Manga face. Perfectly fine. And then, oh, there's, it's going to be revenge. I don't care. There's a Yoda number 2. I'm not, am I going to buy it? I mean, I haven't yet. Here's how to do a Star Wars comic, by the way. Just this ad. I don't know if it's good, but you've got another Phil Noto cover, I think. Looks like Phil Noto. Yeah, it is. Phil Noto cover. Han Solo and Chewbacca, right? It's an ad. But here's what's special about this cover that makes me love comic books. Look at this. Look at this 2 lines here. An urn worth 1 million credits if it can be stolen from the Empire. Look at this. So we've got a plot. We've got a heist movie in a comic book starring our 2 favorite Star Wars heroes, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and they got to steal this from the Empire. That's impossible, but it's worth 1 million credits. I'm sold. I'm in. I want to read the story. It's as simple as that. I don't know why people can't do that anymore. This is what passes for a comic book cover. This is what's meant to draw me in to read this story, and it doesn't. You know, it just doesn't do anything. I have no clue what this is about, and that's sad. We got a Phil Noto Yoda cover. Phil Noto has learned to draw Yoda, obviously. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like there are like 70 variants of this book. The retailer that I bought this from, my local retailer, he got suckered into Marvel's Star Wars initiative, like hook, line, and sinker. He's got a stack of Yoda number 1 like this thick. Bunch of different variant covers that I could have chosen from. I just chose this at random. It's not better necessarily than any of the other ones, but it's just, I don't care. How many variant covers for this do you need? What is this, like, you know what I mean? Like, is this Superman versus Muhammad Ali? Is this the event of the century? It's just this fake Yoda story, half-heartedly drawn by someone I've never heard of, and written by someone who is fine at drawing little stories, or writing little stories, but ultimately, you know, this is just belongs in the garbage. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this. Are you reading the Star Wars stories that are coming out of Marvel Comics right now? Are any of them good? I have a bunch of them. I went and bought a bunch because here's why. I don't know why I'm avoiding Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I started boycotting Disney Star Wars because of the way they treated Gina Carano, right? And guess what? Gina Carano actually has friends in this community that aren't even boycotting Star Wars. I don't even think Gina Carano is boycotting Star Wars. So I'm doing it for nothing, and all right. I was watching The Jersey Shore, and I think Vinny or The Situation, one of these 2 great men from The Jersey Shore, had a quote, and it was, "Holding a grudge is like swallowing poison and hoping the other person dies." Brilliant. Is my boycott of Star Wars hurting Disney in any way, or is it just hurting me? I don't really know. I got to think about it, because I really do want to watch Mandalorian Season 3 and the Book of Boba Fett, which I hear is just excrement. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I enjoyed, in a way, I enjoyed reading the Star Wars comics that I purchased, but I got to think about it a little bit more and wrestle with my own morality, my own self-imposed standards. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. The channel is growing again, and that's because of you. We're going to beat the shadow ban. You have to. The shadow ban's real. It really is a real thing. But it can be beaten by people like you. So thank you. I'll be back a little bit later with another video. Follow All Caps Comics on Twitter or X or whatever at CyberFrogHD. And be sure to check out all our links in the description below.